Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm going to give just a couple of seconds for some folks to come on. We have been asked to kind of walk through the elements of the executive orders that were issued by our three cities here in Houston County. Hey guys, hey Care. Let me know that you guys are here. If you will, just give me a thumbs up. Carrie, if you will share this over in the Robins to Go page. Hey home furniture friends, I hope you guys are doing well. Steve, hey Tiffany. We have been asked by some, y'all keep chiming in. Give me a little thumbs up if you can hear me. If there's any issue with the volume or anything like that, somebody give me a little double tap. Thank you, Carrie, so you guys can hear me. So at 4 o'clock, the mayors of the three cities here in Houston County issued executive orders about the emergency measures response to COVID-19. And before I get into breaking down, I am using the City of Warner Robins because I have theirs in print as guidance, but I have been informed that they're all very similar. There are some slight variations among the three, but some overall general guidance that really just gives businesses as well as consumers clarity on the last executive orders that were issued. So I want to thank Mayor Toms, Mayor Harley, Mayor Walker, just for their leadership. I'm sorry, the color's a little weird. Like I'm facing a window. I hope I don't look like feel rather orange right now, but anyway, just wanted to hop on for a quick second and share with you guys what's actually in the executive orders, as well as some frequently asked questions for you guys. I'm going to try to adjust this lighting a little bit and see if this makes it any better. Okay, that's a little better. I look a little more normal. So the first section of this really helps to define public gatherings as well as city property. So by definition here, a public gathering means any organized gathering or assembly of multiple persons at a specific location. And then city property is any property owned by the city, including the following: any parks, public square, public space, playgrounds, recreations, or similar places of public gathering. Nothing will prohibit families from taking a walk. The lighting is much better now. On sidewalks or designated pedestrian areas of parks for walking or exercise, as long as no gathering is happening. So the way that I would view that, if my family wanted to go to one of the parks, we are welcome to utilize walking trails and sidewalks and other things for the purpose of moving from one point to another for exercise and physical activity. However, if we wanted to sit down with 6 other people and have a picnic meal, that would be discouraged. Playing on commonly touched playground equipment, benches, things like that with other people appears to be outlined in this as not permissible. Section 2 revolves around utility services. So for the duration of this declared emergency, the city will not disconnect any public utility services provided by the city for non-payment. And then at the conclusion of the declared emergency, people will have 30-day period to make those payments before services are disconnected. So that is extending, your utilities that you may have with your local city municipality to give people some time during this interim period of not being able to gather as we work to flatten the curve of COVID-19. There's a listing of classification of city services that I think really applies mainly to their employees, but all this information can be found on their website. So I encourage you to check that. They will also be tolling deadlines. And again, that's more of a city business type piece of information. Section 5, I think, is of particular interest to our audience, both with the Robins Regional Chamber as well as our Robins to Go Facebook community that has been very active in promoting our eating establishments, our restaurants, and our other businesses doing innovative things. I will tell you off the top, restaurants are still operational, are encouraged to stay operational, providing delivery if they have that. call ahead, curbside service, and things of that nature. What this ordinance limits very explicitly is dining in the facility. So I'm going to read this little section to you just so there's not any interpretation on my part. But according to the City of Warner Robins executive orders, restaurants and other eating and dining establishments where food is served must cease offering dine-in services. So I know several of you have said, I rode by and I saw X business with people inside sitting, eating. This will eliminate that within the city municipalities of this one specifically, the City of Warner Robins. Again, Perry and Centerville both have similar language, and I think continuity around these. Limit dine-in services, but may continue preparing and offering food to customers via delivery, drive-through, or takeout services. Patrons, employees, and contractors of the establishments must maintain at least 6 feet of personal distance between themselves and others. If a restaurant is licensed to sell beer or wine for on-premise consumption, such as restaurants, during the effective dates of this declaration only, shall it be authorized to sell unopened bottles or cans of beer or wine for takeout consumption off premises. So I know specifically in the city of Warner Robins, this has not been allowed before. So you couldn't get, a bottle of beer or wine in a restaurant with your to-go order and take it home. So as long as it is unopened, that is a provision of this guidance for eating establishments. And I'm going to hit some frequently asked questions in just a minute as well. So y'all stay tuned. This next one, Section 6, has got on our Robins to Go page. So I'm going to read it as well because it discusses the closures of certain types of businesses. Again, spoiler alert, your everyday businesses, your insurance agency, different service industries and things like that are not affected by this. This really pertains to businesses who have kind of high touch and high traffic, close proximity in order to participate in activities and things. So again, I'm going to read this, but want to give you guys a little bit of comfort and calm before I go into this. So it's not closing down business. That is not at all the intent of this executive order. And I've read it from top to bottom at this point. So section 6, closure of certain businesses, gyms, fitness centers, pools, social clubs, amusement facilities, bowling alleys, pool halls, theaters, massage parlors, nail salon, and any other similar facilities or activity that for activities that involve prolonged physical proximity of individuals, or any facility used for entertainment, social, grooming, or general health and well-being purposes must close and remain closed for the duration of this emergency. It then goes on to cover personal distance. So this pertains to grocery stores, pharmacies, and other businesses who remain open. So all establishments not covered in the prior point, Section 6, which included the closure of certain businesses, such as grocery stores, pharmacies, and other businesses who remain open during the emergency, must post signage on entrance doors informing customers and consumers to maintain at least 6 feet of personal distance between themselves and others, and shall not allow more than 10 people into the establishment at one time if such social distancing cannot be maintained. So again, reading that, the call to action for those businesses, grocery stores, pharmacies, and again, all those other businesses that weren't specifically mentioned in Section 6, there is a requirement now to post. If you are open to the public and in the public sector, there's a requirement now to post a sign on your front door reminding patrons that they must maintain the 6 feet. If you've got tight quarters and are unable to have more than 10 people in that space and they can't maintain the 6 feet, you will be limited to 10 people. So anything above 10, you're going to have to start letting people in and out and come and go. So again, the way I read that, if you're, we'll just say Kroger or Publix, there's space for more than 10 people to maintain the social distancing requirements by the CDC and is issued by the governor in his address. So that's covered in point 6. All gatherings, Section 8, all public and private gatherings of more than 10 people occurring outside of a household or living unit are prohibited. So if you've got 10 people living under your roof, that's not against the law or the ordinance as it is written, but the gathering of 10 or more people outside of your house or living unit is forbidden. Nothing in this declaration prohibits the gathering of individuals for the purposes of carrying on business certified as essential by GEMA, and that information is available. The governor also addressed some critical infrastructure sectors as well as provisions of medical and healthcare services. We're going to upload all of this to our website, but it's already up on the city's Facebook page. I believe it's up on their website. If it's not, I know it soon will be. There's information in here about procurement of bidding and competitive contracts with the cities that I won't go into because it just affects a very small portion of those of you who might be listening, as well as conflict of provisions. And that's really the nuts and bolts of all of that. That was page 4. Page 5. I think just has the mayor's signature. Okay, so if you guys have any question, when does this take effect? That's a great question. If any of my executive committee is watching, I want to say, gosh, I don't want to guess. Whereas, y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Corn nuts. It's neither corn nor nut. Michael Collins, Shane Gottwalls, if any of you are watching, hey, Jana, do you happen to know when this takes effect? Or Amelia, if you've got that email, if you could pull that up and post that in the comments. Here we go. This order, I should read the next page. This order is in place effective March 25th, beginning at 8 a.m. And will continue until April the 19th, unless modified or extended by subsequent declaration. So, to recap and to go over our FAQs here. All right. So, why is this happening now? The gist of that paragraph just says, in an effort to flatten the curve. These are the things that they're doing to slow down the spread of the virus and assure that we have adequate health care resources for those who do get sick with COVID-19 and those who need emergency medical care for accidents, heart attacks, strokes, and other things. Out of curiosity, what about dealerships, like car dealerships? Is that the question? Great question, Nicole. If I don't see the answer to that in this, if you'll just zip us a private message here at the Robbins Regional Chamber, we'll reach out to the cities and ask what the guidance is around car dealerships. But that is a great question. So, can I go into a bar, nightclub, or theater? Everybody give me a thumbs up if you think you can. No, you cannot. So no entertainment venues like these are not permitted to be open during this order. And again, we're talking about March 25th through April the 19th. Additional guidance will be given down the road as we see how things develop. Again, we're just relaying information made available to us and wanted to hop on real quick and provide some clarity and some assurance. Again, there were lots of questions surrounding these. A lot of you had concerns about some of these industry sectors, and so this is providing us greater clarity and guidance on all of this. So, can I go into a restaurant, cafe, coffee or tea shop, ice cream shop, or other food service location? Glad you asked. Yes, but only to pick up food or drinks. You can't dine in or eat or drink in the facility. Patrons are not permitted to dine or congregate in restaurants, bars, or similar activities, but they may get delivery, curbside pickup, or takeout, drive-through. Those options. Is my favorite restaurant, cafe, ice cream, whatever open? Restaurants and other facilities that prepare and serve food to the public are encouraged to stay open. It will help our critical infrastructure here in the community for our restaurants to continue to do the amazing job that they are doing, offering creative solutions, offering family-sized portions of their favorite entrees and sides and things to help families continue to feed them, to feed their kids and themselves, utilizing those great services of being able to drive by and pick up, ordering online, and the amazing restaurants that have stepped up, many of them with free delivery or small delivery fees, or are partnering with our delivery agencies just as an added plug, because business is in my blood, y'all make sure you tip those delivery drivers. If they're bringing them to you, those delivery fees do go back to the restaurants. And I know that our service sector really appreciates your help right now, as your bartenders and your waiters, your hairstylists, your massage therapists, they're not able, according to this, from March the 25th to April the 19th, they're not able to provide their services to you guys. Many of them work on tips or are independent contractors. In fact, just last night, I went ahead and paid my hairdresser for my next appointment. And I said, you know what? We'll just make it my Christmas appointment, or make this my Christmas gift to you, because they're the ones that are going to be immediately impacted over this next 2.5 or so week. I don't do public math, so somebody out there figure out how many days that is and just drop it in the comments there. I don't cook. How can I purchase meals? Next question. Again, restaurants, cafes, similar interests, similar establishments are encouraged and may remain open to supply meals to the public via delivery and carry out. You can also purchase prepared food at grocery stores, convenience stores, and other food retailers. This is a great question that has come up to us several times at the chamber, as people are finding rations in the grocery stores, and I can only get 2 canned goods, or I can only get 1 gallon of milk, and I have 5 kids and 4 animals, and we normally go through 3 or 4 gallons of milk. That was a scenario we were dealing with earlier this week. So schools, 18 and under, all kids 18 and under. Y'all, Houston County schools, I say all the time that, you know, the Museum of Aviation, Robins Air Force Base, that's our crown jewel from a tourism standpoint and bringing people into our community. Our school system is the reason people want to live here, and them stepping up and not only providing lunches and 2 meals a day, 2 meals a day during the week for the children in the Houston County schools. They're like, you know what? Every kid under 18, 18 and under can go and get those meals. The numbers of meals that they are serving, 16,000 in a day, some more. Just want to give a quick shout out to the Houston County Board of Education for their leadership and their the servanthood that is being demonstrated in our community as they love on those that need those meals. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. So schools, soup kitchens, food banks, and other entities that provide free or reduced price food and good or meals. Members to the public are encouraged to continue providing those services. However, food provided by those establishments to the public may not be eaten on premises. So again, if you're going to a food bank or you're going even in the pickup line at the school, you need to be taking that and going off site. They don't have tables set up for people to eat meals there, because again, that would create a public gathering, and public gatherings are being prohibited in this way. So don't eat where you get your food, period. Can I go to gym or health club? No. Again, March 25th through April 19th, gyms are ordered to close. Can I walk my dog or pet? Yes. Be sure that you distance yourself at least 6 feet from other pets as well as their owners. Can I go to a vet or a pet hospital if my pet is sick? Yes. And this guidance, and I don't say that this is a rule, but this guidance has also already been issued for primary care providers, specialists, and other medical professionals outside of those dealing with COVID-19. Call ahead first. And I would just encourage you, as a general rule, if you're going into an establishment where there may be others that isn't a grocery store, pharmacy, that type of establishment that is still open to the public, it's not going to hurt anything for you to call ahead first, zip them a message on Facebook first, just to make sure that they don't have any additional restrictions in place. Quick shout out my allergist, Langford Allergy. I showed up for my allergy shots 2 weeks ago. There were hand washing stations outside. They had a way that I could sign in and then go wait in my car so that there were not people congregating in the waiting area. And then we were called in one at a time to take care of our allergy shots and our needs. And I was out on my way with very minimal access, certainly other than the 2 seconds it took them to give me the shot. I wasn't in close proximity to anyone. And again, they're taking all the necessary precautions. That's just one of the many, many examples that we have in our community. Can the order be changed? Yes. So as we've seen with everything surrounding this situation, this is fluid and uncharted territory for all of us. I think everybody, all of our municipalities, all of the businesses, these are hard decisions. Most of the time, you're darned if you do and darned if you don't, because of how high the stakes are surrounding situations like this. None of us have been in this situation before. So the leadership that is forced to make these decisions and charged with making these decisions by virtue of their elected positions, they agonize over these, guys. They lose sleep over these because you matter. You matter as a business owner to make sure that you've got every opportunity to continue to have your cash register ring, continue to provide necessary services to your customers, because it might not be essential in the grand scheme of things according to an ordinance. It's essential to you. It's essential to your family. It's essential to the families of your employees. And so nobody wants to be put in a situation of having to determine, winners and losers or impact to businesses versus public health. But public health is of chief concern, and the way that this virus is moving, it is proven that by flattening the curve, when you can, mitigating those risks has proven to be effective. So all involved, whether you're a business, whether you're a municipality, know that these are not light decisions that they're making, and all of these decisions are made at the best information available at the time of the decision. Again, some of this may change. For now, March 25th through April 19th, the business as I described above are closed, as well as the additional clarification on public gatherings. Almost done, guys. Hang with me. All right. So should I stock up on food, necessities like toilet paper and other medicines? No. The more we do outside of our normal buying powers, the more each of us as individuals become part of the problem instead of part of the solution. So even individuals that buy up all of the crayons or buy up all of those things because I'm going to give them to people in need or people that might need them. The stores aren't prepared to have every box of crayons or every box of Kleenexes or every roll of toilet paper off of their shelves every single day. The trucks have not been established in those routes. I know, talking to Steve Davidson at Clean Control, they went from sending out 3 to 5 trucks a week to sending out 10 times that many in a matter of 10 days or so, and have had to ramp up their workforce. Our supply chains are working just as hard as they can. We need to do our part to be smart, to trust that the systems in place will work, and that if we're patient and we buy things when we need them and we buy what we need, the food will be there. And the food will be there for everybody who needs it, not just for the people that happen to be there when the truck pulls up. So encouragement from them, and a little side note from me, don't stock up. You will continue to be able to purchase these items whenever you need them, as stores selling necessary items like groceries, pharmacies, and hardware stores will remain open and are frequently restocking. Please continue to buy normal quantities of these items on the same schedule you normally do. This will ensure that there is enough for everyone. And then, what should I do if I'm sick or a family member is sick? Stay home. So that's the first order of business. Don't go to work. If you're sick, if you're exhibiting symptoms, don't expose yourself to other people. If you are feeling sick, first call your primary care physician, just like you would for anything else, a nurse hotline or an urgent care center, before going to the hospital. As a reminder, as we stated previously, any of those healthcare professionals that aren't the hospital, call ahead. Just make a best practice. That's not official guidance from the municipalities, but make a best practice of calling ahead to see what their policies are, if you need an appointment, how you need to handle yourself once you get there, how they're taking your information, all of that all of those things. Get those questions answered so that you're going to have minimal exposure to their staff and to others who may be taking advantage of the services that they're providing. You can check online sources like the CDC's website if you're worried that you or a loved one has COVID-19 to learn more about the symptoms, learn more about what to do for treatment and when you need to seek professional help or go to the hospital. Please, please, please do not go to the emergency room of a hospital unless you have deemed that you have an actual emergency. Call 911 or go to the emergency room if you are experiencing an actual medical emergency. So if you or a loved one is having a heart attack, a stroke, is involved in an accident, or goes into respiratory distress, those are absolutely appropriate times to contact emergency services. If you have a tickle in your throat or a cough, use the same guidance you would normally use if you had those symptoms. Contact your primary care physician, a nurse hotline, or go to one of our urgent cares after you've made the call to make sure you understand their availability, their capacity, their process, to minimize, again, that time waiting and that time exposed to other individuals. All right, we got that. Oh, what should I do if I or a family member needs to go to the hospital or a medical provider? How can I protect myself? If possible, walk or drive yourself to the hospital as opposed to taking an ambulance. But if you've deemed it necessary for ambulatory care, then you make that own determination. If you have PPE equipment like surgical masks, N95 masks, gloves, you can wear that to prevent exposing others. If you don't have that, you could use temporary methods such as wrapping a scarf or a bandana or something around your mouth and nose to try to limit droplets when you cough, sneeze, or speak. And although that's not an approved method, this is something that you can do to limit exposure when you're going into those facilities. Can I leave my home to exercise? The answer is, of course, yes. If you will be outdoors and not in close contact to people, absolutely. So I was actually getting ready to go play basketball with my son in the driveway when I got this notice. So my son and I will go out and play basketball when we get done with this. We're outdoors. We're going to maintain, distance from anybody that will be walking down the street or down the sidewalk by our house. But again, take those best practices that were recommended earlier and mandated, the 6 feet of distance. Don't stop and gather. Don't go to the park or any other public locations owned by the city. No more than 10 or more people outside of your home or living quarters, and just keep moving. So you can use trails, different walking paths, sidewalks, and other pedestrian areas. Just don't congregate. Keep moving. Keep you and your pets 6 feet apart from any other humans and their pets. 3 more. I promise we're almost done. What are the social distancing guidelines I still need to follow? As we've been preaching for the last several weeks, wash your hands with soap and water, preferably warm water, for at least 20 seconds. Cover your mouth, not with your hand, when you cough or sneeze. Stay home if you're sick, right? Stay home if you're sick. I know employers don't want you bringing that into their place of business. If you need to make a run to the store and you're sick, find someone else who can do that for you. If you don't have a spouse or loved one who can do that for you, there are some wonderful nonprofits in our community who can do that. If you go over to the Robins to Go page, there are several delivery services that are now offering grocery pickup as an option for you. Avoid touching your face as much as possible. Avoid groups, again, staying at least 6 feet away from others, and reduce the time you are around others outside of your home, even when at least 6 feet away. When practicing social distancing, how far should I stay away? 6 feet. If I'm in a line and there isn't 6 feet between me and others, you should still try to maintain a distance of 6 feet, even if you're in line for something. All right. When it isn't possible for short periods, do your best to keep the duration short, to keep moving. Be sure that when you're in a line, you don't sneeze or cough onto people. If you need to sneeze or cough, again, sneeze in your elbow with clothing on it. Feel free, again, PPE, surgical mask, other things that can cover your mouth and nose if you are enjoying the early pollen here. And so make sure that you're doing all the things that you need to do. And then where can I pay my utility bill or set up a new account? Online. So our municipalities all have their services available online, so you can pay your bill online. And if you need help setting up an account, you can visit the city's website for a step-to-step guide on how to do that during an emergency situation. So it looks like there's a little activity going on the page. I'm not going to take the time to answer the questions live because I do feel like a little bit of a broken record with this. If I know it, if it was available to us, I just said it in this video. So when I hit end and finish this thing, you'll be able to go back and watch for clarification. I apologize for the stuttering and stammering. I've had this for about 10 minutes before I got live, but had so many calls and questions. My phone was quickly losing battery, and I thought, you know what? I can read online just as well as I can read by myself, so I wanted to share information that many of you may or may not know was available. I know the local news will likely pick this up at 5, 6, and 11, and so just wanted to hop on and remind you that your chamber is here for you businesses, community. We're here for you too. Most of you work for our area businesses or have a loved one who's employed here. Our goal is to help build a better community, and we do that through strengthening our local businesses, through supporting our local economy, and just making sure again that we continue those normal buying patterns. Our economy doesn't stop unless we choose to stop spending. So those of us who are still either going to work physically, working from our homes, many of you are already teleworking, there's no reason to change our buying patterns. Everything that we've seen about this virus indicates that it is cyclical. So we will reset. Our community has proven that we are Robin strong and we are stronger together. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for sticking around. And again, I'll try to address the comments as appropriate. Otherwise, I'm going to ask our municipalities if they will go on and clarify any points. But thank you all so much. Stay informed. Robinsregion.com/RobinStrong has links to all of our local municipalities, state and federal, the CDC. We're working to curate all of that content daily to make sure that we gather, filter, and share the things that are important to you, your employees, and your families. God bless. We'll see you soon.